Welcome to episode 8 of the Bear Trap on the Boom Bust channel. This Chicago Bears podcast by a Chicago Bears fan. And today I'm talking about who we should hire as our next coach. Now that title might be a little deceiving because actually it's probably more about who we shouldn't hire. Because when we're talking about head coaches, and coaches in general, I think the casual fan, not even the casual fan, I should say anybody that's not inside the NFL or connected insider, you're pretty much throwing shots in the dark. And the one thing I do want to say to us, fans, whether you're a casual football fan or you really know football, either way is we got to stop the copycat league mentality. Yes, the league is a copycat league. Okay, fine, but we don't have to be copycat fans. So everybody's rallying cry right now is, the Bears need to go find their Sean McVay. We need to do what the Rams did. We go find a young, short, energetic offensive coach, and Trubisky's going to be amazing, and we're going to go to the playoffs. That's not how it works. I mean, this is going to be similar to me talking about comparing two prospects, rookie prospects. Is that the situations are so different, people. Why don't we get this yet? As a football fan, realize the game of football is the ultimate team sport. From top to bottom, when you got a roster of 54, every 54 matters. And then you got a coaching staff where every coach matters. And so when we're talking about what the Rams did, and the GM they had, the pieces they had before, the pieces they were willing to go get, those are all factors. And so we can't sit here and think that we're just going to be the Rams. That shouldn't be the mantra. We should be trying to be the best Bears we can be. And that is its own set of issues, its own set of challenges, and its own set of opportunities with our roster as we currently have it, and with the GM we have. And so, as we go into this off season looking for a new coach and whatnot, we gotta stop sitting here comparing it to the Rams. Like, would we like to have a turnaround like they did? Yes. But to sit here and say, okay, I want the youngest, brightest offensive mind, or I want the brightest offensive coach that's a quarterback friend, blah, 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 blah. Like, dude, like, that's not what we should be looking for. I mean, and there's tons of examples for every Sean McVay. There's tons of examples of coaches that had that label and it just didn't work out. And not only that, I give a lot of respect to Sean McVay, a lot of respect to the Rams, what they doing. But people, it has not even been a whole season yet. Like, not even a whole season. We are in the prisoner of the moment society. Sweet Jesus. Like, you talk about Kyle Shanahan and Dan Quinn to that extent, where they were getting ultra praise. Everybody wants Kyle Shanahan as the head coach, and Dan Quinn is amazing. Look how he turned the Falcons around, got them to the Super Bowl, and rightfully so. And then what happened? They got in the Super Bowl, they went up big and mismanaged the entire game. And so you can't start giving roses before they're due. You can't start crowning people. I'm not trying to make a joke at Danny Green, but you can't start crowning people before. It's like, give it time to breathe. Let people prove things. Yes, the Rams have had a good season right now, but if they go into the playoffs and lay an egg, what are we going to be talking about? Or if they get real far and then lay an egg, what are we talking about? Or if they come back next year and don't go to the playoffs, then what are we then do we want a Sean McVay? So that's my point. Let that stuff breathe and stop trying to, model everything we do after other people. We really got to do it ourselves. Now, the one thing that I will say that any team does right, whether it's the Rams, whether it's the Eagles when they switch, whether, any team that gets on track, the one thing you have to do is hire the right coach based off who he is. And not, he worked with this person or he worked with that person. They accomplished this. Like, yes, that stuff means something, but it's not everything. And so you really are hiring the person, as they kind of say, especially with head coaches. when it's a head coach, you're hiring the person, not just the coach, because there's going to be coordinators to make game plans. There's going to be coordinators to run plays. There's going to be other coaches to teach technique. Head coaches have to run the ship. They have to run everything. They have to be the face of the group. They have to make the game time decisions with timeouts, with challenges, with all that. And they are the ones that have to inspire the team. Like, yes, we're at that. And we've always been at that point. I won't knock this generation. You've always had a coach be the one that brings that extra something out of players. Where as a player, if you play football, you know, yes, you want to play hard and you want to do well. Excuse me, but there's things a coach can do that can absolutely take that to the next level and bring the emotion out that you might not have played with before. So there's something more than just X's and O's when we're talking about a head coach. They got to have a great manager and a great leader. And so that's the one thing that teams that really look into it and do it right, they find the right guy that fits the situation. There's a great little article that came out about the Rams search last year and how they really, before they offseason came, they did a real deep dive into the organization where they had basically feedback from everybody, top to bottom, low level to players to coaches leaving to everybody, to fans, and they really identified what that team needed in terms of a new head coach. So that's that. I mean, yes, we got all the Sean McVay comparisons. The other annoying thing, Josh McDaniels. We got to get Josh McDaniels. And I'm not knocking Josh McDaniels. If we get Josh McDaniels, fine. I don't care who, I care who we get, but whoever we get, I'm going to root for them because it's my team. And after Mark Trestman, nobody could be worse. So, but my thing is, why are we this the copycat thing. Oh, the Patriots are doing great. Who's the offensive coordinator? Josh McDaniels. Okay, let's get him. Timeout. Cause whenever people say that to me shows me you don't know football at all. Because even if you wanted to go solely off resume and you talk about the Patriots, that's not Jared Goff out there. That's not Carson Wentz. That's Tom Brady. You telling me Tom Brady with 5 rings is only playing well because of Josh McDaniels, and people will debate if he's even playing as well as he has in the past. And so Josh McDaniels is not making Tom Brady. Tom Brady is making Josh McDaniels. And there's an argument that he's always made Josh McDaniels because there's no projecting with Josh McDaniels as a head coach. Oh, he might do this. He might be this. We've seen it. He's been a head coach. We've actually seen what he did as a head coach with Denver, and what was that? Now, there's a lot of issues with Tebow and all that. I'm not blaming him again. I'm not coming for him. It's just that if you're saying Josh McDaniels and you have nothing to say besides, well, the Patriots are doing well, then that's just a terrible argument. I don't know that that's who I want just because of that, because I guarantee you, no matter who that offensive coordinator is, Tom Brady's going to do his thing. And so how many coordinators, how many GMs, how many scouts have went on to get big jobs because they were with the Patriots? That has nothing to do with a lot of them. It has mostly to do with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And so when you have all-time greats coach and quarterback, there's a lot of holes you can fix with that because he's the best quarterback ever. And the greatest players make other people look better. So anyway, so as far as what I would look for in the next head coach, and again, we're not plugged into the league. Like if I sat down and interviewed coaches, I could tell you who I think is the best one, who definitely is going to do it, but I don't have that privilege. So I can't sit here and tell you what hot coordinators out there or what hot coach, or, you know, give you a take that's not mainstream. Everybody wants, they want Josh McDaniels, or they want one of the people working with Carson Wentz, whoever's working with him. And so that's the mainstream. And then other people, they want like, not hot takes, but they want the insider nuggets. Like, who's the next up and coming one we don't know about? We don't know about them because we don't play in the NFL arena, not literally, but we're not in those circles. And so I can't sit here and tell you that, a name specifically. And I remember when when John Fox was coming up, and I was telling people I didn't want him. And I remember this is like when I tried to get on some radio shows, and like they would try to like attack me, like, okay, like I give my reasoning for why I didn't want John Fox, and they're like, well, who do you want? Who do you want? Who is it then? And I'm like, okay, you're asking me random, like anybody anywhere can know a hell of a lot about football. That doesn't mean we know every coaching staff in the league. So, yeah, I can't give you a specific name, but I know football. So anyway, when I'm talking about our next head coach, and really the question all the fans have is, does it have to be an offensive minded coach? And so here's my pushback. I don't think the next coach has to have a certain, forte, because just because they're offensive minded, or even if they're offensively gifted with schemes and whatnot, it doesn't guarantee anything. It really does not guarantee anything. And there are no quarterback gurus. I think that's died off, but we used to talk about that a lot. And it's like, we realize there's no gurus. There's nobody that's touching quarterbacks, and every quarterback they touch is great. It doesn't happen like that. There's a relationship. There's a chemistry between, people, and all those different things that go into that. And so, yes, it'd be nice if someone was good at scheming stuff up with lesser talent. But even that, the best example you'll get is Kyle Shanahan, where he really schemed a lot for the passing game. But even still, they had Julio Jones. That's probably one of the best receivers in the game. And then Mohamed Sanu is no joke either. So it's like, yeah, schemes work, but talent work a lot better. But it would be nice to have somebody that can maximize, those type of things. And, Kyle Shanahan is not bad, because you can see with little talent that he's really helping Jimmy Garoppolo get things moving over there. So, yes, that stuff is nice, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean, you look at the top dogs, like who went to the Super Bowl. First of all, Belichick, greatest coach. He's a defensive guy. He came from defensive coordinator. Yes, he does a lot of the offense now, and, he's just a football guy, but he came from a defensive background. The Falcons in the Super Bowl. Dan Quinn, defensive coordinating background. The Seahawks, Pete Carroll, defensive coordinating background. And so you go down the line. It's not every single person, but for the most part. And so there's no one right way. And so I think if they bring in a guy that's defensive minded, then, that's not the end of the world. A lot of fans are acting like if it's an absolute joke if we don't bring in an offensive guy. And I don't think that's the case, because, John Fox, even though he is from the defensive side, he didn't do a lot with the defense. I think, the attitude and really the standards for the defense he set, but everything was like, it was a very heavy Vic Fangio. And so I think Fox was more so the caretaker of the team, trying to get a winning attitude, trying to get a level of professionalism, which he did. But we can't sit here and be like, the offense was so bad because John Fox was an offensive guy. That's not exactly true. Part of that is the roster talent, but I will say part of that is his style of offense. Now, if it worked, then we wouldn't care. Like, people you gotta pass, you gotta do this. That's not true. If it works and you're winning, nobody's gonna sit here and say, well, why aren't we passing more? Like, if it works, it works. So, I definitely think that we can be open. And even still, like, you look at John Harbaugh, who won the Super Bowl. I always get the Harbaughs mixed up. I think it's John. And Baltimore, he's a special teams coordinator. Or he was before he got there. So, it's no one set way. It's no one set way. And definitely there's no quarterback gurus. People keep, like, again, with this Jared Goff crap. Like, again, Goff could look terrible next year, or the Rams could be terrible next year. We don't know. Like, yes, it worked. That doesn't mean that that's just a thing you can just go out and do. So, anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts. I want somebody, if I just had one thing I could pick out, I just want somebody, that understands how to develop talent. And so, I know people think GMs are like, they should be the top dog. I never believe that. It's weird. Maybe because I coach football. It's just weird to me to say that, hey, I give you players and you coach them. No, I'm the coach. We make the schemes. I tell you what type of players we need. And so it would be nice to get a coach that is strong with developing talent and puts focus on that, positional coaches that really can develop things and really has an understanding of what players they need. And that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of fans and a lot of coaches just go out and they want to add talent, which is cool. But if you look at the Patriots and teams that do it well, you have a system that you run and you want to get certain players with certain skills that fit that system. And so I just want a coach that understands exactly what his schemes are and he understands exactly how to develop those players. So anyway, so that's my thoughts on our next head coach. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up, subscribe, share it around, trying to grow the channel, and thank you for listening.